I'm going to tell you what the absolute fastest way to make profit for the semi-average, slightly above average person in 2025 is. And I'm also going to tell you exactly why I'm not doing it. As my Mr. 13 would say, no cap, for real, for real. And so to tell you what's the fastest, I need to tell you that I've done it 3 times. And 3 times, starting almost a decade ago, which was the dawn of my first kind of coaching program / digital product. I had a digital product, which is a coaching program at the time for e-commerce businesses that helped e-commerce businesses scale their online stores. And what I did is I sold that for $2,500, and then I sold it for $5,000, and then I sold it for $6,800. And what I did is I posted content and I ran Facebook ads, just on Facebook, no other platform. I got people on the telephone on a 30 to 45 minute call, and I sold them that program. And then every week I'd turn up to a call with them, I added them to a Facebook group, and I gave them access to a very fancy, not really, Google Drive with documents, trainings, templates, videos, etc. And I did that, and 13 months later, I had made $1.3 million. 1.3 million US dollars at the time. Then I did that again. And then I did it again. And the formula to this day works. The formula of having a very high margin coaching, training, consulting product that shows someone how to get a defined result over a defined time period that's sold for $5,000+ via the telephone. If you want the absolute fastest way to start and grow a profitable coaching consulting business in 2025, the answer has been the same for about 8 years. Do that. That is the fastest way, because what you will do is have the highest margin product, and as long as you fit the product to the market, you will have demand for it. As long as you can have a promise that people actually want, they want to make money, they want a better body, a better relationship, a better life, whatever it may be. There's only 4 categories. I've covered them many times. Look up the videos. Make money, save money, live a better life, or stay out of jail. You've got to be selling in one of those categories. The absolute fastest way to sell that is on the telephone. The absolute fastest way is to get people on the phone, understand their current state, understand the gap between their current state and their desired future state, present your program as the desired future state, and then get their money and then put them in something that's high leverage to deliver. You can get to multiple 6 figures a month doing that. If you spend every waking hour hustling, posting content to get people on the phone, you get them on the phone and you sell 40% to 50% of those people into that product, you'll make a ton of money. You'll get some of those people results depending on your skill level, how experienced you are, how good you are, the scope of the promise, etc. That's the most variables. That, to this day, is the absolute fastest way to do it. The reason I'm not doing that is that's a young man's game. And what I realized after years and years of doing that, the trade-offs that have to happen in the pursuit of growth and the pursuit of money are not trade-offs that I'm prepared to make. So nowadays, I have programs with defined promises. I have a mentorship program that has no promises whatsoever. I just allow people to look over my shoulder and share insights with them and give them office hours a couple of times a week where they can ask me questions. It doesn't have a single promise in the world. It's sold via a Google Doc. I will not get on a call. I will only get on a call with people who actually invest in consulting, or I've invested in them in terms of taking them on as a coaching client and commitment, or they're in the syndicate and part of the mentorship. And the reason that the call-based system is a young man's game is it requires a lot of energy and a lot of time. And at my stage of life, I have 2 children, both of them over there right now. I have 2 dogs, both of them over there right now. I have another child on the way. I have a wonderful relationship. I love to travel. I love to do absolutely nothing for long periods of time. I love to stuff around. I'm wearing these clothes because I'm about to go on an hour-long walk and listen to a podcast before our chef arrives and cooks us dinner tonight. I don't want to be on the telephone all the time. I want to spend time doing those things. I want to spend time with the kids. I want to spend time swimming in my pool. I want to spend time chasing the dogs on the beach. I want to spend time with my soon-to-be new wife. And the young man's game is the fastest way to make money because you can deploy a lot of energy into it. You can get people on the phone, you can hustle, you can grind, you can do all those things, and you make a ton of money. And you might want to keep doing that, or you might want to take it to the next level where you start hiring people, you build a sales team to sell that, you hire coaches to coach the people, you hire consultants to consult to the people, etc., etc. That is the scalable path, and what you will see in that path is that growth starts to slow down because your operations get larger, you spend more money on things like marketing and advertising, that you lose a little bit of contact with the clients, so you don't have your finger on the pulse because you're not the one selling and you're not the one consulting and coaching at the end piece. So the business starts to slow down. So that time when you're the one on the phone selling, that time when you're the only one coaching, etc., is the fastest growth period, and it's also the hardest because you have to be everything. And the reason that I choose to go slowly and don't understand what the situation I'm in. I've been doing this for a long time. I've made a ton of money. I have very strong cash flow. I have very strong recurring revenue. So I can afford to go slowly. But I also choose to go slowly. I choose the old man's game. I choose the slower, smoother path because it has lower stress. It allows me to put the energy into places that actually matter. And I lost sight for many years that the business was there to feed my life. And I had many trade-offs in the course of, when the kids were young and in my previous marriage, etc., where it was growth at all costs, that I would take the call even if it was wasn't the right thing for me and all of us, because I was chasing the sale and I was chasing the deal. Even well past the point where I didn't need to do that. I didn't need the money, and I was on that relentless pursuit. And that was costly. It has been very costly. I don't regret a single bit of it because it got me to where I am now, which is in a wonderful spot. But in hindsight, there were trade-offs that I tolerated for too long in that model. And I'm saying this because I speak to a ton of people every day that can't let go of that because they're just on that relentless cycle of trying to beat last month. We did 200K last month, and if we don't do 250 this month, then it's all a disaster, and it's whatever story they're telling themselves. I've heard them all. And I'm saying this because there is a choice. If you want to go fast, I am not your guy. If you want to go the fastest route, which is getting on calls and closing people and selling to everybody who remotely resembles the your ideal target market, then I'm not your guy. There are really good people out there who do that day in, day out, and they run that model themselves, and then they also teach that model themselves. Some of them are speaking to me about how much they hate it, but they still teach it. So that's just between you and I. But the fact is that there are trade-offs in that model. It is the fastest. It's got some serious trade-offs, and it's got some serious downsides that only become apparent while doing it. But you know what? I'm damn glad I did it. The 1,500 odd sales skills I did made me damn good at selling. It made me damn good at offer creation. It made me damn good at content. They're a very fast feedback loop. So, the old adage that, slow is smooth and smooth is fast is very much true for me these days. You can have an offer which has a defined product, promise, a defined, path, and, a defined specifics around it with pricing, etc., that you can put in a Google Doc, a text document on a relatively pretty landing page and still make sales with that. It will be slower. In many cases, you'll get better people because they will spend more time, considering your content, considering the offer, and considering the promises that you're making or not making in the case of it. So it is a harder sell, but by the time you've actually sold someone, if you're more patient, then the type of people you get tend to be more patient as well and in it for the long haul. So the absolute fastest way isn't necessarily the best way. And this is where your discernment on who you're following, what you work with, and what strategies you use are ultimately down to what you want and what you expect and what you need from your life. Because every single strategy out there that someone's selling works. There are better people out there to follow and better people to invest in who have very much got it dialed in and are much better teachers than others. And there are people who, will sell you things that actually work in fundamentals, but they don't know how they work in principles, so they're not actually great at actually presenting it. Again, discernment is required. For me, at the stage of life I'm at and the commitments I have, the selling from docs, making content, sending emails every day, making these videos, etc., it takes longer to get results, and it takes longer than it would do if I was on the phone. I would make triple the money that I do these days than if I was actually taking calls and selling on the phone, or if I decided to build a sales team and those things. You know what? If I built a sales team, I'd probably make exactly the same profit and just have much, much higher overheads and just a much shorter sales cycle. That's the reality. So all to say, there is a fast way. I don't do it. You may choose to do it, but go in and choose the strategies that you're thinking about, the market and the methods that you're going to use very carefully, and think about the fact that I believe fundamentally your business is there to feed your life. So if your business is sucking the life out of you, then you might want to think about it. But if your business is feeding your life, you've got the time, the money, the energy to do the things you want, then you're definitely on the right path.